Hi, my name is Nick Craig. I am talking to you today because you have taken a program that I have either run or one of my colleagues has run on authentic leadership or purpose to impact. The reason that we're talking today is that we're all experiencing a crucible at the same time. It's called the coronavirus. None of us really know the implications of it. We're all being impacted financially and personally. And I could go into some of my own versions of what that looks like, but I don't think that adds anything to the fact that we're all having to figure out how to lead in a time where there's enormous uncertainty as to what will happen next. But what I do know is that the experience that we've had together can be incredibly helpful to you right now if you step more fully into accessing some of the key elements from the program that we had together. So I want to give you some of those things to think through and play with. I do believe that this could be our finest hour. All of us have spent our lives building up an enormous amount of experience and wealth of leadership moments, challenging experiences that allow us to be able to do the hard right versus the easy wrong in this moment. So that's what we're here to talk about. Now, I have a couple of colleagues I've worked with recently, Bill George, who wrote a book called 7 Lessons for Leading in Crisis. Harry Hudson, who wrote also and is an expert on organizational crisis. So as I look at their insights and some of the ones I have, I'm bringing those together to share them with you. The first thing I'd like to say is that stress will reduce your immune system, and purpose will help you build your immune system. And let's talk about how that's possible. The reality is that there are two responses to stress. The one that most of us are familiar with and are probably experiencing right now is called the fight or flight response. And it's what we see with investors in the markets who are doing the flight thing as we speak. Our businesses and organizations, the people around us, the people in the stores buying toilet paper are sitting in the fight or flight response and doing a great job of it. And if you open the newspaper on a daily basis, I don't know about you, but it does push some of those buttons. But here's the thing, that's only one way to relate to stress. The other response to stress is called the challenge response. What does that mean? Well, when we look at the World Cup or the Super Bowl or any other incredible performance, the teams that end up winning are the ones that step into the challenge response. The teams that fail step into fight or flight mode. We know when we see it on TV what it looks like. Now the question would be is that how do we step into the challenge response right now? It would be very helpful, yes? So here's the key, your purpose. Why your purpose is helpful is for this one reason. The thing that shifts all human beings from the fight or flight response to the challenge response is the moment that you actually believe you have the resources to deal with the challenge. Now, the important word here is belief. It's not about the reality of resources, it's the belief that you do. If you believe that you do have the resources to overcome the current challenge, you will step into the challenge response. The challenge response has a very different set of impacts on your psychology. The chemicals that are produced in your body are the endorphins. It's all the really good chemicals that energize and sustain us, as opposed to the bad chemicals, the cortisol and all the other things that comes from the fight or flight response. Now, I don't know about you, but if the coronavirus is running around, having a strong immune system is something we all need. So stepping into the challenge response, I believe, will be extremely helpful. The way you do it with your purpose. What is your purpose statement? My purpose is to wake you up, to truly wake you up, and have you finally be home. Now, in some ways, my doing this video is an example of me stepping into the challenge response. The question becomes is what is your version of stepping into the challenge response? But when I listen to my purpose, it's what's making me do this video. It's a Saturday. There's no one in the office. Actually, I've let everybody work from home for the next 2+ weeks because we really don't know what will be happening. I want them to all be safe. But what I notice is in the last week is I went into the challenge response around everything. And actually, I've had more energy than I normally do. So this is a possibility for all of us because this is what we need and this is what other people need to experience as well. People have been coming up to me and saying, why are you so energized? Well, I feel like I do have the resources to deal with whatever comes up with our clients, whatever we need to do. Because I'm going to be stepping into my purpose fully. And the question and opportunity for you is what would it look like for you to more fully step into your purpose? Now, one key access point is to really go back to those stories, those magical moments as a kid, how you got out of your crucible adventures or your passion, and re-access some of those stories. When they make you smile, write it down, tell it to somebody, tell someone your purpose and why those words and where they come from in your life. And I promise you, you will be forced to step into the challenge response. Welcome to the show. The second thing I'll say to you today is you've all been through crucible experiences. Oh my goodness, I heard from many of you some of the most intense stories I've ever imagined a human being can go through and still thrive and survive. And you have done so. Those stories are powerful. Go sit down and tell a story. Have other people tell their crucible stories. And what will happen is what happens in the program is everything changes. Our relationship to the current challenge is changed. It seems smaller and more manageable. Why? Because our relationship to ourselves has changed. We have owned and honored the resilience that each of us are. I look forward to continuing these conversations. I will be doing more of these. I have a couple of podcasts, one with Bill George, Harry Hudson, looking at crisis and purpose and authenticity. And we'll be sending those out. And we'll also be doing regular video connects, webinars for anybody who wants to have a conversation about how you can take what you've experienced working with us and live it right this moment. Thank you for listening.